Hi, I'm the guy who's in charge of the muck. And boy, do I love muck. But share with me why I am a soil scientist, because that's what I'm by training, or what I've done for the last 25 years, has become so attached to muck. Though I believe sometimes the muck is more attached to me, but that's another story. Imagine I would offer you a block of land for your garden, your orchard, or your farmland. And actually it's two land of blocks, but you have to choose one. So you can either choose the one on the right side, or the one on the left side. So please raise your arm if you are choosing the one on the left side. No one. Who is choosing the block of land with the soil type on the right side? Everyone. I assume you're all choosing the one on the right side because it's a black soil. And we all associate black soils to be more fertile and productive, grow healthier food and higher yields. So why is it? Why are black soils so more productive? The black stuff in the soil is called by soil scientists is humus. Humus is part of the organic matter, and the organic matter matters in soils. It's a battery in the soil. It stores the water and the nutrients. It feeds the soil organism, and it helps keeping our groundwater clean. It's the heart and soul of our soils. Unfortunately, most of the soils on our planet are like the ones on the left side. These soils are lacking of organic matter, and so they can't hold enough water and they can't hold the fertilizer. And to improve the productivity of these soils, we need to increase the humus content of these soils. So how do we do this? How do we get the humus level of these soils up? Let's have a look how nature does it. What ingredients does nature use to build humus? Nature uses plant residues. This is straw, leaves, roots. And these plant residues are used by the microorganism to produce humus. And nature uses muck. The microorganisms need muck to digest the straw and to turn it into high-quality humus. So if you and I, if we want to produce vast volumes of humus to put back to our soils, we need vast volumes of more muck and plant residues. So if we start looking around, we will see wherever in the world we are growing plants, either for food, fodder, energy crops, or fiber. And when we are processing and consuming those plants and plant materials, we create byproducts. We call them organic waste, and we usually push those in valleys called landfills. For example, New Zealand's North Island, Central North Island, is known as the wood basket. We have a lot of paper mills and a lot of sawmills in the region. And these are producing 250,000 tons of fibrous waste. And also in the region, we are producing, in our primary industries, agriculture and horticulture, a lot of food, like milk, fruits, vegetables, and meat. And these products are processed for exporting, but also for consuming in our communities. And when we are processing and consuming these food material, we are producing another byproduct, which is a muck-like waste. And this is generated in our wastewater treatment plants. And this is another 250,000 tons produced in our region. So altogether, we are producing 500,000 tons of organic waste in our region. If we would put all this onto trucks, it would be 50,000 trucks of waste we are producing. And how long do you believe would such a convoy be? If we would start in Wellington, in front of the Houses of Parliament, this convoy would come up to TEDxTauranga, going up to Auckland's harbour, and then the trucks have to turn around and come back, build a double line of trucks coming back to Tauranga and going all the way back to Wellington. And when the first truck arrives in front of the office of our Prime Minister, the last truck has just left Wellington. This is a 1,500 kilometre long convoy. And all this material has been pushed into landfills, producing methane and contributing to the global warming. But this is 500,000 tonnes of fibre and muck we so urgently need to produce humus for our soils. So can't we just take this waste and put it onto farmland, adding organic matter, producing humus and increasing the productivity? It is not so easy. Because if you take the fibre onto farmland, it's just carbon. And the carbon actually, if a farmer puts it on land, it will absorb all the nutrients. Try to grow a plant from a pile of soaked cardboard, it doesn't work. And that's why farmers are not doing it. And the muck is so wet, it stings, it contains E. coli and salmonella, and sometimes it's very acidic, and it will turn the soil acidic, and that's why hardly any farmer uses it. It's very difficult to handle. So the solution would be to combine the fibre and the muck and to produce a product everyone would want to put onto the soil. So we needed to find the technology to do this. And this technology needed to be economic. It needed to be safe and easy to operate. It needed to reduce the volume significantly so it's easy to transport to the farmers. And it needed to create a product everyone wants to buy. So we could choose composting. Everyone knows composting, and composting is worldwide and it's doable. But these materials are very wet. They're too wet for composting. It needs dewatering and drying first. Composting needs to be turned during the time. So that's all very costly, and compost reduces volume only by 1/3. So 2/3 need to be carried away to the farmers. So very costly, doable. We wanted a better technology. And we found the technology, and it's quite an amazing technology. It fits into a 5 centimetre long tube. So actually the size of this pencil. So what does this technology do? This technology sucks in the wet material, no demand, energy demand for dewatering. There's a micro grinder in here, like a stone mill. It grinds down the fibre and mixes the fibre with the nutrients-rich muck from our wastewater treatment plants. By doing so, it increases the surface area of the material, easier to decompose. Further down the track, or the tube, E. coli and salmonella are destroyed. They're actually replaced with good and beneficial bacteria who make plants grow even better. There's no need for turning in this technology. This technology does it itself. It comes for free. The volume reduction is 80%. Only 20% need to be taken to farmland. Finally, when it's compressing the product, it's creating micro pellets. And last but not least, these pellets are coated, wrapped up like a birthday present for the farmers. This coating protects the micro pellets from the first heavy rain after application to land and soil. And as a soil scientist, I was working on this technology all my time. Boy, what an amazing technology. And this 5 centimetre long technology is called an earthworm. This is a 600 million years old technology. It's updated, the hard and software, with every generation of worms several times a year. Much more often than any of your mobiles and apps on your mobile. So you are saying, Michael, you seriously want to put 500,000 tons through an earthworm? And this is exactly the same reaction we received from councils and industries. And they said, Michael, you need to prove this to us. We don't believe you. And we did. And this is how it looks like. You need to know one amazing thing about worms. They can eat their body weight a day. But we would still need a lot of worms to process all this waste. But worms are great. They love sex. And they multiply, they double their population within 2 months. 6 years ago, we started with 20 buckets of worms. Today, we would need 41 trucks if all our most valuable employees would take a day off, which they never do because we provide them with the very best. And the very best is free food, the organic waste we are putting in the landfill so far. They get free drinks, natural rainwater. We have a nice event centre, which is the muck they're diving through. And we get some music. Oh no, that's for the truck drivers, not for the worms. So, but if you look closer to this image, don't you have the impression, as I do, that there's a big, big party going on here? So these worms, our employees, celebrating a party 24/7, 365 days a year, for the next 600 million years, hopefully. And the great thing about these worms, they don't leave any waste behind, as we do. Not today, hopefully. So, if we look at our worms, they are celebrating their party on 60 hectares of land. That's an area of 120 football fields, or 15 million times of what you can see on the screen. We are feeding 410 tons of waste to the worms every day. This is a volume of 150,000 tons of organic waste already, so 1/3 of our target. And this, we believe, this is the largest worm farm we are hosting here in New Zealand of the world. So, these worms are turning these 150,000 tons into 30,000 tons of micro-pellets, or worm poo, or vermicast and vermicompost, how it's called. If you hold vermicast in your hand, it's fluffy. It feels dry. It smells like forest soil. It's easy to spread. And your hands stay clean, thanks to the coating. But what the soil scientist in me likes most about vermicast, it contains plant growth promoters. These are enzymes and humic acids produced by the worms and the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, that triggers plants to grow more and deeper roots. Plants are growing healthier and they grow higher yields. Boy, do farmers love vermicompost. And deeper roots and more humus in your soil actually makes less nutrients leaving the root zone and getting into the groundwater, like nitrate. Which means less nutrients going into the groundwater in our natural waters means less of this muck. Algae and lakeweeds growing in our eutrophic waters. Boy, do I hate swimming in this muck. So humus and vermicast allow farmers to manage their soils more sustainable and economical. The benefit for us are clean rivers and lakes. Vermicomposting is a technology that benefits soil. It doesn't deplete soils. It's fully scalable. You can do it for 1 tea bag a day, or you can do it for more than 400 tons a day. It doesn't require much capital. You don't need a $30 million plant to process organic waste. It can take a whole community to an organic waste community by upcycling organic waste to vermicompost. If you want to join the worm farm party today, think about your organic leftovers. Are they already going back to soil? Transform the soil of your garden, your orchard and your farm to a more humus-rich soil using vermicast or other organic fertilizers. Change your household, your neighborhood, your local school, your cafe, your office, your corporation or your community thrive to 100% organic back to soil. If vermicomposting is a solution of organic waste management, I'm less concerned about polluting our ecosystem or depleting our soils. I would rather see global warming than global warming. Thank you very much.